Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to our channel. My name is Samuel.
And I'm Amanda.
And this is the Samuel and Amanda Show, where we talk about
money, marriage, and life.
And let's face it, you gotta like money. And we talk about money.
Yeah.
Marriage. Marriage is bliss, and also life, you know, generally things, what's going on, what's happening. So if you enjoy our channel, please do me a massive favour and Amanda a massive favour, and
yeah, hit the like button, also subscribe to see more.
Absolutely. So what have you been up to recently?
Oh my goodness, this week. I mean, do you want the rosy version or do you want like the real?
I want the rosy version only.
Samuel likes my stories short because he hates me like going on and
so
on.
What's been the issue, my love?
Basically, just having issues with tenants. Yeah.
And this is the thing, this is why my goal used to be to own 1,000 houses, but then as we got more and more properties over the years, we kind of came to the conclusion that we'd step into doing bigger deals, commercial deals, development deals. Little houses are great, but the thing is, if you've got 4 or 5 little houses and you're making a full-time income off that, brilliant. But to scale it and try and make millions off of small houses can have problems. So tenant problems. Let me guess. In fact, I already know, so as if I'm being... but HMOs, right?
Yeah, HMOs. And so it's one that I'm just now trying to change the use of.
Yeah.
So we don't have it as a HMO anymore. And
but listen, this sounds so negative now. I need the rosy version. Like... Let's just be real though, just put things into perspective.
Yeah.
We have made a full-time living and lived a life of luxury off the back of HMOs.
Oh yeah, they're great. They're great.
But occasionally you just get 1 or 2 every so often. Yeah. So talk to me about the downside of HMOs, and then I want to talk about how to fill rooms fast, how to fill HMOs and properties quickly, how to be a good landlord. We're going to give you guys some tips. I hope that sounds good. But just talk to me about like some of the problems that we have with the odd one of our HMOs and how it happens.
I think when you get one bad apple, that's when the issues start, because usually if you get a group of people that just get on, then the house just ticks and it's fine. Yeah. But when you get one person that's problematic and is stirring things between people and then annoying the other ones, then it's like, oh, headache for you, because it's just like, oh, great, now, you know.
And I think as well, in terms of tenants, it's really annoying when you've got not just one bad tenant that you can just kick out, but if you've got one bad tenant that tries to turn the others, you know, or I mean, we had a situation with this particular HMO in mind where we to be fair, we've had the property now for about 7 years and it's always been great. The first tenant that we moved in 7 years ago, we put quite a low rent because there was a refurb going on at the time, and you know, he moved in and we just put a low rent. And then the second tenant we put at a little bit of a low rent because this was like 7 years ago, and then everyone else that came in, they've all gone, but these 2 tenants have still been in the property paying a low rent, right, like a really low rent.
Yeah,
because
ridiculous.
And we've not put it up because we kind of just knew that it would tick them off.
Yeah.
And we also know that they can't really afford it, and it's just, so they're paying a low rent. They told all the other, they've been telling all the other tenants, oh man, we only pay this much, and and we've then thought, should we kick them out? Should we up the rent? Yeah. And it's ended up, everyone's moved out apart from, from those 2.
That we want out.
So it's like the bad people have stayed, the annoying ones, those are always arguing and causing issues. So now, not right now, but we had a situation last week where we had 2 bad tenants, not that bad, and 3 empty rooms. Yeah. So we just bribed them out. Yeah. Effectively. So now we have no tenants and no income.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So now but it's okay, because now we're going to fill the property from scratch with great tenants. Yeah. Start again, start afresh, put some new carpets in, put some paint, probably change the kitchen over. Yeah. But it's a bit of a headache. We're not making any money on that particular property right now, but I think you need to look across the board. You can't just focus on, well, although your job is to focus on that one bad property right now, but you can't just focus on the bad. You have to look at the overall.
Oh yeah, overall everything's great.
It's a bit like, imagine if you, you know, with anything, if you go to a school and it's like, hey, how you getting on at school, kids? Well, there's this one person that's really annoying. It's like, yeah, well, what about all the good people? What about all the, you know, so yes, this is one tenant, yes, this is one house, but it all be sorted. So what I want to talk about in this podcast or video is tips to renting rooms out quickly. Because I actually think finding a good property is not enough.
Okay.
Do you agree though?
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's what you do with the property.
It is. It's what you do with it, and it's also how you rent it. Because if you could get a really good deal. You could buy a house from a deal sourcer, and you could buy the house. But if you don't know the tips and tricks in how to manage the property and how to get tenants in that property quickly, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get beat by some punk ass whose house is cheaper, whose house is worse, but they know what to do. So, first tip I have is to, when you put your adverts up, maybe on spareroom.co.uk or whatever, is to refresh the ads every single day.
Yeah.
I mean, how important is that?
Really, really important, because then when you refresh it, then it goes to the top of the page. And also I think you can pay extra to have it as a featured thing, and when it's featured, it doesn't even cost that much more.
It's like 20
to have it.
£20 or something.
Really, but yeah, refreshing it is important.
But it costs nothing to refresh it. Nothing.
Yeah.
When you refresh the ad, then it means that your property comes right to the top, and people don't know about this kind of stuff.
No.
And then their property sits on page 4, mine is on page 1.
Because everyone else is adding, so then it's just being...
And a lot of letting agents, they're not really bothered. If they've got 20 properties, they're not going to put yours at number 1. So make sure that you're logging in, you have the login details, you're refreshing the ad every single day.
Yeah.
Second thing is, it's really important how the shots are taken.
Oh yeah, really, really important. Like, you don't want the room to be looking dark and dingy. You want the light to be on. Get like a nice wide shot. Like on iPhones now, you can get a wide shot of the room. And yeah, get the best angle.
Yeah, make sure that the property's like, you've got, even if you're not gonna rent the rooms out with bedding and furnishings, even if you're gonna rent it out just like a mattress and that's it in your HMOs, put all the furniture in, make it look beautiful, but then when you advertise it beautiful, show it around beautiful, but then just tell the prospective tenant, oh, actually it is going to be coming unfurnished, because because most housemates like to bring their own duvets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We just wanted you to see what it looks like done up, and then that way, the difference between one that's done up with a bright orange pillow and pictures, and it's just gonna sell better.
Yeah.
And you've done this. You actually used to, as a business, furnish other people's properties.
Yeah,
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think it's really, really important, because you want good, solid furniture as well that's going to last, but obviously you don't have to spend like loads and loads of money. But you know, you can, even with a small budget, you can make a room look wow. And also the colors. So if you use like bright colored cushions to set the bed, they stand out then on the photo. Then when you're just looking down like a stream of different adverts, when you have a bright color, then it pops and then it draws people's attention. So I think it's really important to use bright colors, you know, make it look aesthetically pleasing, where someone could imagine themselves, you know, living.
Yeah, and another thing is, I think the reason that tenant that we moved in 7 years ago paid such a low rent, okay, hear me, because this is really important, really important, is because we got 5 rooms. And when that first tenant came to look round, and we showed them all the rooms, oh, we've got this room, this room, this room, this room, and this room. They knew that we had 5 empty rooms, right? They've got loads of choice. You put them in the driver's seat, and then they negotiated with us a really cheap rent. However, if I was going back now, rewind 7 years, I would lock the doors on 4 of the rooms and only show them 1 room. So important, because when you show them just 1 room, they're going to, it's almost like, if you confuse them, you lose them. If you give people too much choice, it makes them think, oh, well, what's wrong with this house? What's wrong with these? Why are they all empty? So just show them 1, and it makes them think, oh, what do you think? Because you've managed hundreds of...
I can see where you're coming from.
What do you mean you can see where I'm coming from? I couldn't be more right. This is not a case of, oh, you know, is there an opinion from the other?
They might want an option though, don't you think? Well, I mean, it depends.
Yeah, but
so if they're just... Go on.
Maybe show them 2 rooms.
Yeah, exactly, because if they want a double room or a single room, you can show them, like, okay, this is a double that you can have, this is a single that you can have.
But can't you just, when they inquire, ask them what they're looking for and go, perfect, I've got that, and only show them what they want?
Yes. I guess so. I mean, I think you're probably right.
Definitely right.
Show them that room. Yeah, confuse them, you lose them. Fair enough. Yeah.
You became really good at closing tenants. Talk to me about that as well, about how to actually close them.
So because it's a waste of time, when you're like showing lots of people around, you don't want to be like constantly going to that house back and forth. So in the end, it was just like, right, first of all, ask them all the questions, what you're looking for. Make sure that this house, this room ticks what
you want. So you're pre-qualifying them.
Yeah, pre-qualifying them. Making sure that they can pay, they've got a good job, whatever. And then when you meet them, it's basically like, you kind of go into it just like as if like, oh, it's a done deal. You've now just come to just see the room just to confirm.
So good.
So it's very presumptive, and it's just like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And then even when I'd be talking to them, I'd be like, oh, and then you could put this there. Oh, you mentioned you had a table and chair. Oh, you could pop that there. And then you sort of like, and then they almost feel like, oh, but then they can also see themselves, I guess, in the room. And then at the end of it, it's not just like, okay, well, anyway, ring me to let me know. It's almost like, okay, so when are you looking to move in?
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And then like,
she's a babe.
And then tell them this is the process. You'd have to pay the deposit. And then you basically just talk to them as if it's a done deal.
You know what makes me laugh? Sometimes people say like, oh, Samuel, he's a salesman, right? Oh, he's a salesman. It's like, yeah, and that's what property is.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get paid from property, you get paid from people. If you can't sell to people, if you can't close, I am a salesman, that's why I'm so good at property. The two are not mutually exclusive. Property is a numbers game, it's formulas, it's numbers, crunching the numbers, due diligence. But at the same time, it's a people game. Because how much is a property even worth? It's only worth what someone's prepared to pay for it. So your job is to sell the property, find out what people want, give it to them, close. Love what you were saying when you're asking open questions as well. Like when would you be looking to move in?
Yeah.
Questions that start with when, what, how, where, not would, not do, not are. Because if you ask questions that start with would and do and are, then the answer can be no.
Yeah.
So you're asking open questions. So basically, so you're showing tenants around and you're kind of just, every time you do a viewing, you're assuming that of course they're going to take this.
Yeah, because we've talked about it on the phone. Why would you then come and view it?
She even sounds so indignant. So indignant even now. She's like, well, of course they'll take it to me. Yeah, because... So another thing is, when they ring you then, you need to tell them all the particulars up front.
Yeah, exactly.
Videos.
Like, yeah, everything. Deposit, the rent, everything.
And then you're going to go, right, does that sound good?
Yeah.
Right. So the viewing is more to just check that everything you said is correct.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it is, of course they'll rent it from you.
Of course.
Love that, babe. That's why I married her. I'm sure she closed me, or did I close you? I think I actually closed you, to be fair. See, even me being a good salesman, had to sell her on marrying me. That was a hard sale.
It was the best thing I ever did.
Oh, you're very sweet. Right, so lastly, block viewings.
Yeah.
Now, when you've got 2 or 3 tenants that you've all kind of filtered, and 2 or 3 of them are like, yeah, man, I want to take it, and then you show them round together.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you have got a 100% chance of renting that room. Yeah. And then the other 2 are going to be disappointed, and you're going to go, you know what? Good news. We do have another room in the same house. Let me show you. Right, okay, so how soon would you like to move in? Great. Well, what's going to happen now? Here's the contract. Blah 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 blah. How would you like to pay your deposit?
Yeah.
Boom, shaka, laka.
Deal done.
Viewings.
Yeah, block viewings are really, really good, and it saves you time as the person going. You don't want to be going back and forth, wasting petrol, wasting your time. So it's better to just have a block viewing. Turn up, everyone's there at the same time. It almost as well, I feel, just creates a sense of urgency, because if you feel like, oh, I'm gonna lose out because this other person's there, then people are just, you know, more likely to act, and it's just, I don't know, it's just better. And also as well, once you've got 1 or 2 tenants, then it's so easy to fill the rest of the house, because you can just get referrals from the tenants. Yeah, exactly, yeah.
You know, just be like, hey, I'll give you a £50 cash prize if you can put a friend in, and then they'll be like, oh, who do I know that would like a room, and they'll fill the house for you.
Yeah.
So easy. We don't normally talk too much about property on the podcast. We normally talk about money, marriage, life, but I guess our life is property.
Yeah,
so it's hard to keep property out of it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this information. You heard it from the absolute... Amanda's the most underrated property investor on the planet, because she doesn't make a big splash about what she's doing, but she's actually the brains behind the operation. The brains behind the operation. So let us know what you want to hear us talk about next week. comment below if you've got specific questions. What should they do?
Comment below. This is your opportunity now, and next week we'll answer them.
Absolutely. Please do hit the like button.
And subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.